Hello, I'm Mike Gordon, and welcome to my final episode, I do mean final episode of Pokemon Red and Blue. For even though I already completed the Pokedex, got 151 out of 151 Pokemon and all that jazz, there's still a few more loose ends I need to fulfill. For starters, I need access to the HM for Fly. And I have a bunch of Pokemon I need to trade away. Just so I could obtain all the gift Pokemon. As that's still part of my conditions for a perfect playthrough. There's a hidden item I need to get, and oh yeah, I need to get Max Gill. Now this Mew doesn't know Fly, but he will learn Fly soon enough. So, at this point, I'm just gonna move Nugget to the 6th slot, since I still need to max out my Gill, which is one shy of a million, or 999,999. And both Red and Blue are gonna tackle things in a different order. Red is actually gonna start off just going for the max Gill straight away. There are no more trainers for us to battle unless you count the Elite Four, so this is the fastest method. This is known as the Old Man Glitch. And what this does is I'm actually going to try to have established encounter data for a location that doesn't have any, using the old man's name in order to influence what Pokemon and levels actually appear off the east coast of Cinnabar Island. Meanwhile, Blue's just gonna go ahead and get started with the trading. And the reason for this, there's really no reason why the ore is so different. Oh boy. Unfortunately, even though I have default names, there are some additional Pokemon you can run into based on what names you have. Since I chose my names from the default list, as in Red and John and Blue, this affects what kind of Pokemon you can potentially run into and at what levels. For example, a level 132 Mewtwo, which should not be possible. At least I have a level 64 Raichu that... Alright, that's a good sign. Missingno. And it's a Max Ether, and it's technically Pokemon number 0, but if you try capturing it, it will register itself as a Rhydon that can evolve into a Kangaskhan. That's because there's no data for Pokemon number 0. So I found I need to actually sell 99 of those items first before I can sell any more, so I can max out my Gill. Meanwhile, Blue had picked up the final hidden item in Vermillion City, and has conducted his second set of trades, Nidorino for Nidorina. And now Red's gonna get started with the trading, this time with the 3 trades on Cinnabar Island. Raichu for Electrode, what else is there? Venonat for Tangela, and, forgot what the last one is. So, whatever. I need to trade Nidoran male for Nidoran female, Nidorino for Nidorina, Raichu for Electrode, Venonat for Tangela. Now, Blue is actually going to... And what's kind of funny is that apart from the the Nidoran for Nidoran or Nidorino for Nidorina, which is only remotely beneficial in red version because Nidoran male and Nidorina are both rares in blue versus Nidoran female and Nidorina being common. But red, Nidoran male and Nidorino are common while Nidoran female and Nidorina are rare. But here, even though all the Pokemon I'm trained for are technically available to capture in the wild, it's probably easier just to trade these Pokemon. Plus, Dewgong himself is super rare, so trading for a Seal that's just... Ponyta for Seal, probably just 1 or 2 levels away from evolving, could probably save you a ton of heartaches. Since now you have a little 32 to 36 Ponyta on standby, and you can trade that away for a Seal that's just 1 level away from evolving into Dewgong. Alright, what is it? Alright, first try Missingno in blue version. Even though it's over 100 levels higher than my Ponyta, I was able to run away just fine. Side note, all the Pokemon I'm trading away are duplicates. But here I need to sell my nuggets. And now, Red is gonna go ahead and trade Nidoran male and Nidorino for Nidoran female and Nidorina respectively. While Blue is gonna try to trade his duplicate Raichu, Venonat, and Ponyta for Electrode, Tangela, and Seal. So if you actually want like Pokemon like Electrode, Tangela, and Seal / Dewgong, because Seal's technically a common, but Dewgong isn't, it's a rare. These trades are pretty ideal. If you're playing red version, then Nidoran for Nidoran and Nidorino for Nidorina also makes a little bit of sense, because the female counterparts are rare in red version, whereas in blue they're common, while the male counterparts are rare. Anyways, last flight destination. So why am I so really I'm just revisiting Generation 1 so I could just get the remaining trades and a single hidden Max Ether right on the side of this building when I already accomplished everything else? Yeah. Because if I'm gonna revisit red and blues, I might as well get all this stuff over and done with before I actually get to the real meat and potatoes of this episode, and that is to trade duplicate copies of the Gen 1 exclusives over to Gen 2. So here's Nidorino for Nidorina. Trade Ponyta for Seal. And these are literally the last couple trades to perform. And then I will fly back down to Celadon City. Looks like Red's gonna finish a bit early compared to Blue, but it's literally anyone's game at this point. Blue doesn't even play the jingle when the jingle doesn't even play when you complete the Ponyta for Seal trade. Which is a weird little bug. I don't really know what causes it. But then again, Red is gonna fool around a bit trying to order his inventory, his Pokemon list around a bit. Gonna drop off Spot, Terry, Doris, Crinkles, and Sailor in that order. The Mew I got is actually the duplicate Mew that I intend. Well, technically not the duplicate Mew. I think I just caught two different Mews. And this is the one I'm gonna trade over. So yeah, this is actually the main feature presentation for this episode. The final episode, Red and Blue, is Red and Blue passing on copies of the Kanto exclusives, which will remain in Living Dex order all the same. And we're gonna save our games, and for the first and only time in this marathon, we are gonna be playing 4 screens all together like this. So, yeah, my strategy is to just get a head start with talking to the time capsule ladies before commencing with before powering on with Red and Blue. This is pretty much to try to ensure that the time capsule trades all work. Alright, and there's nothing for gold that Red and Blue needs from Gold and Silver, so those duplicate Vulpixes and Growlithes in Gold and Silver respectively, I'm just gonna trade on over to Red and Blue, who will just release them. And in exchange, I will be trading the entire Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Omanyte, Kabuto lines, as well as Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Mewtwo and Mew. All of them in just 3 trade sessions. The final 3 trade sessions of Pokemon Red and Blue. And the only ones that will be conducted with Gold and Silver. So, yeah. There really isn't a whole lot to say. Honestly, I really hate these trade episodes. I really do, because this is absolutely boring. I'm gonna tell you something. Doing commentary over in-game trades, it's boring. Because it's as straightforward as it comes. The animation takes forever because it has to show, because the trades actually occur one at a time. One Pokemon gets transferred to one game, and then that game transfers its Pokemon to the other game. In generations 3 onwards, the transfers are instantaneous. So you could probably get a lot more of them done and a lot faster. Not to mention, in Generation 1, you literally have to power off or hit restart from the menu in order to continue, because Generation 1 never thought to actually include a door or staircase to let you get out of here. So it's kind of interesting. Yellow literally just traded the base forms of Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Omanyte, and Kabuto over to Crystal, which basically allows Crystal to dupe and evolve all those Pokemon themselves. And it means that Yup, I can conduct fewer trades. Don't have to worry about the 12 versus 18 dichotomy, as the trades are pretty even between red and blue. Yellow and crystal when doing things this way. But because gold and silver have because red and blue don't need any Pokemon, they already completed their Pokedexes. I can just trade all 18 Pokemon straight away. Oh yeah, I forgot about Vulpix in yellow version. So red and gold are going to be doing things a long way. Whereas blue and silver, I'm just gonna shortcut and skip over the boring parts. And the reason for this is because I want to be able to read gold and silver's Pokedex entries here, since they're all gonna be brand new. And unlike in red and blue, where the Pokedex entries are identical, gold and silver's Pokedex entries are all different. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I will be doing a live reading of all the red and blue Pokedex entries. All of them at the very end of the episode. So this will be the last set of trades I will need to conduct in red and gold, as well as blue and silver, for this set of trades anyways. You will actually see the behind the scenes bit on how I will go around and swap parties in red and gold version, and the same will basically play out and it will pretty much play out the exact same way in blue and silver, even though that gets off screen. And again, I'm doing this so I have time to read silver's Pokedex entries as well as gold's. Once I finish gold's entries, I'm going to just power these off and just do the trades with. And I'm just gonna finish the stuff. My job in red and blue. So I literally need to withdraw duplicate copies of Vulpix and Growlithe in gold and silver, while red and blue have to deposit their multiple clone copies of Vulpix and Growlithe, release them into the wild, and then withdraw their next batch of Pokemon, which in red and blue's case would be Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise, Omanyte, Omastar, and Kabuto. A bit of trivia: in red and blue, I actually deliberately put 14 to 16 Pokemon per PC box, mostly an average of 15 Pokemon per box. And I do this on purpose because you can't move Pokemon around from different boxes like you can in Gold or Silver. That was a new feature added into Gold and Silver. And I'm gonna deposit as many Vulpix as possible while Blue and Silver just continue on. Because of this, I'll be able to read Silver's Pokedex entries well before I read Gold's. And there are 18 Pokedex entries in total for me to read. Plus another 151 in red and blue. You see, I'm releasing the Vulpix just like I off-screen released the Growlithe in blue version. And honestly, this at least gives me some different things to talk about at the same time. Now, towards the end, Blue and Silver will deliberately stall a bit because I need to wait on Red and Gold to finish up. Alright, let's see if this works. I hope so. Looks like it'll work in Red and Gold. It worked. So where are we in the trading in Gold and Blue and Silver? It's kind of interesting. Red was able to interact with Blue, Yellow, and Gold version. Blue only really traded with Red and Silver. Yellow traded with Red and Crystal is gonna trade with Yellow, Gold, and Silver. Which means that Red and Crystal version are the only Pokemon games that are going to wind up dealing with 3 out of the other 5. That will be dealing with half the other games on the list. 3 out of 5. Not counting itself, of course. With 2 of the Pokemon that Crystal and Red having in common just so happen to be Yellow and Gold and Yellow. Or the yellow themed colors, so to speak. Gold's a mineral, not a color. Hey, gold is technically a certain type of yellow anyways. Anyways, Red and Gold are partway through their trades, whereas Blue and Silver are about wrapped up with the second batch of cross-gen trades. So, yep. Blastoise for Vulpix. Whereas Blue is already transferring Kabuto over to Silver. Meaning, Blue and Silver are 3 trades ahead of Red and Gold. Again, this is done on purpose. Though in hindsight, I probably could have just done the same power-up thing that in Red and Gold I did with Blue and Silver here. Ugh. So yeah, I already off-screened my swaps and releases in Blue and Silver, so now the final batch of trades is for Blue to trade over Kabutops, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Mewtwo and Mew in exchange for the final 6 Growlithes that neither game would have any need for. And honestly, this is where I got a very good idea on, okay, Crystal's gonna solo the rest of its game with just Tyranitar with a Lucky Egg. I think I'm gonna have Gold and Silver solo the entire rest of their games with Mewtwo. Now, Mewtwo can learn at least 4 moves that can just completely wreak havoc of the rest of the game. Those being Shadow Ball, Psychic, Ice Beam, and and Thunder Punch. No, Ice Beam, Ice Punch and Thunder Punch. Though for the final battle against Red, I'll probably swap out Ice Punch for a fighting type move so I could deal with Snorlax. Because Shadow Ball, Psychic, and Thunder Punch should do wonders against the rest of the final battle's team. Of course, Ice Punch will be used primarily to help deal with, Mewtwo, yeah, is primarily a special sweeper, but his physical attack is mighty powerful as well. Alright, take good care of Vulpix. Best part is Mewtwo's level 70 to start. So Red and Gold are just wrapping up their second batch of trades, whereas Blue and Silver are halfway done. So yeah, Moltres to Growlithe. And my final task is literally to move my Pokemon around in Pokemon Gold. And one of the funniest things is, I'm actually gonna keep what will happen off screen in Gold and Red and Gold, and just film that. What I will eventually cover off screen in Red and Gold in Blue and Silver. So yeah, I completely filled up box 1 through 20, and I'm moving Omanyte, Omastar, and Kabuto to the very end of 121 to 140, since it's Dex order. Now you might be wondering why am I playing Red and Gold, the music from Red version rather than Blue version? Well, you'll find out. So I literally have to manip my movements in Red and Gold because they're synced up. So have I already trade? Oh, just one last trade in Blue and Silver, and they'll be done. Whereas Red and Gold are now getting set up for their last batch of trades. And this is the best time to release these Pokemon into the wild. Oh. And that will completely clear out box 11, by the way. So that's all the Pokemon I needed to transfer over from Blue to Silver version. So while Red and Gold are going to begin their final batch of trades, let's go ahead and read Silver's Pokedex entries. It carries a seed on its back right from birth. As it grows older, the seed also grows larger. If the bud on its back starts to smell sweet, it It is evidence that the large flower will soon bloom. It is able to convert sunlight into energy. As a result, it is more powerful in the summertime. The flame on its tail indicates Charmander's life force. If it is healthy, the flame burns brightly. It has a barbaric nature. In battle, it whips its fiery tail around and slashes away with sharp claws. Breathing intense hot flames, it can melt almost anything. Its breath inflicts terrible pain on enemies. The shell, which hardens soon after it is born, is resilient. If you poke it, it will bounce back out. It cleverly controls its furry ears and tail to maintain its balance while swimming. The rocket cannons on its shell fire jets of water. The rocket cannons on its shell fire jets of water, capable of punching holes through thick steel. And now we're gonna skip over to the fossil Pokemon and the legendaries. This Pokemon from ancient times is said to have navigated the sea by adeptly twisting its 10 tentacles. Once wrapped around its prey, it never lets go. It eats the prey by tearing at it with sharp fangs. This Pokemon lived in ancient times. On rare occasions, it has been discovered as a living fossil. With sharp claws, this ferocious ancient Pokemon rips apart prey and sucks their body fluids. One of the legendary bird Pokemon, it chills moisture in the atmosphere to create snow while flying. This legendary bird Pokemon is said to appear only when a thundercloud parts into two halves. This legendary bird Pokemon is said to bring early spring to the wintry lands it visits. And finally, Mewtwo and Mew. It usually remains motionless to conserve energy, so that it may unleash its full power in battle. Its DNA is said to contain the genetic codes of all Pokemon, so it can use all kinds of techniques. And that's it for Blue and Silver's Pokedex entries. In the meantime, Blue and Silver are going to do the end stuff that's usually really boring, while Red and Gold wrap up their trades. And when Red and Gold wraps up their trades, I'm going to read their Pokedex entries, and I'm just going to go power off. So now we're at Zapdos. Just 2 trades in, so. Yeah, I'm just talking to the blue NPC. I'm not trying to read it because I'm busy trying to move all these Pokemon back in their proper Pokedex order positions. But as I said, Mewtwo is definitely going to become a Pokemon of interest for me real soon. Same with Mew. So understand when I say that I'm going to be using Mewtwo for the entire rest of Gold Silver, I am not kidding. Meanwhile, all Blue has left to do is to release all these Growlithe that I've been hoarding in my PC. Gotta be sure not to release all the traded mons, though it don't matter much. I know, yeah, I've also off-screened the coin grinding. At the game course, I get max coins. Why not just use the dupe methods to get Porygon and dupe them over to a file so I don't have to use the coins? Because that's not how duping works in Gen 1. In Gen 1, the last thing that gets overwritten is your party data. Everything else gets overwritten at the same time and beforehand. But in Generation 2, the very first thing that gets overwritten is your PC data, and then everything else follows after, including your location. Which is why the duplication, which is a huge reason why duplication is so much more broken in Gold, Silver, and Crystal version than it is in Red, Blue, and Yellow. Regardless, and that is on top of the fact that it's a lot easier to dupe Pokemon in Gold, Silver, and Crystal as well. Anyways, Blue and Silver have nothing to do other than to wait until Red and Gold finish. They have just one last trade to conduct, and then I can read Gold's Pokedex entries. And as soon as I finish with Gold's Pokedex entries, I'm powering both dual Game Boy Advance systems off, and I am going to just finish the rest of the episode with just Red and Blue footage. Alright. I gotta relax my throw a little because I have to read 151 Pokedex entries. That's not gonna be easy. Probably gonna get quite a number of tongue ties. So, anyways, that is the last trade I need to conduct in Red and Gold. Blue and Silver are already done. Just need to read the Pokedex entries in Gold version. Alright, and the sea on its back is filled with nutrients. The sea grows steadily larger as its body grows. Exposure to sunlight adds to its strength. Sunlight also makes the bone on its back grow larger. By spraying the broad petals of its flower and catching the sun's rays, it fills its body with power. The flame on its tail shows the strength of its life force. If it is weak, the flame also burns weakly. It is very hot-headed by nature, so it constantly seeks opponents. It calms down only when it wins. If Charizard becomes furious, the flame at the tip of its tail flares up in a whitish blue color. The shell is soft when it is born. It soon becomes so resilient, prying fingers will bounce off it. It is recognized as a symbol of longevity. If its shell has algae on it, that Wartortle is very old. It deliberately makes itself heavy so it can withstand the recoil of the water jets it fires. And now I'm going to move over to the fossils and legends of Kanto. Revived from an ancient fossil, this Pokemon uses air stored in its shell to sink and rise in water. Apparently, it cracked Shelter's shell with its sharp fangs and sucked out the insides. On rare occasions, some have been found as fossils, which they became while hiding on the ocean floor. In the water, it tucks in its limbs to become more compact, then it wiggles its shell to swim fast. The magnificent, seemingly translucent wings of the legendary bird Pokemon are said to be made of ice. This legendary bird Pokemon causes savage thunderstorms by flapping its glittering wings. This legendary Pokemon scatters embers with every flap of its wings. It is a thrilling sight to behold. Finally, Mewtwo and Mew. Because its battle abilities were raised to the ultimate level, it thinks only of defeating its foes. And finally, apparently it appears only to those people who are pure heart and have a strong desire to see it. All that's done? Power off. And now we're just right back to red and blue version, and I'm actually gonna stick with dual Game Boy here because both games are pretty much exactly the same as far as meaningful details are concerned, with maybe a few discrepancies in terms of levels. So, but regardless, this is the general order in which I've obtained all 151 Pokemon. Again, unlike in Gold, Silver, Crystal, where it's 20 Pokemon per box, in Red, Blue, and Yellow, it's roughly 15 per box. Vileplume's number 45 on box 3, so that's 15. And we go to the bottom. You can actually keep count if you want, but that's 15, another 15 there with Poliwag as number 60. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 Pokemon. And I had 16 Pokemon in there because it was so much easier to just deposit Golem there, since it was so late in the game. And because of this, the last Pokemon here is Cloyster, which is number 91, that's 15. Now we're in box 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 Pokemon, which means it's 105. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 121 again. And now it's just gonna plateau at 15 in the final two boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 136. Finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's 151 out of 151. 15 Pokemon. Now for box 12, box 11 used to have the dupes that I traded over. 1, 2, 3. And these are the in-game trades. 151 seen, 151 owned. Your Pokedex is entirely complete. Congratulations. Thanks, Professor Oak. And how many items do I have in my coin case? Just to approve that. 9,999. Strange seed was planted on its back at birth. The plant sprouts and grows with this Pokemon. When the bulb on its back grows large, it appears to lose the ability to stand on its hind legs. The plant blooms when it is absorbing solar energy. It stays on the move to seek sunlight. Obviously prefers hot places. When it rains, steam is said to spout from the tip of its tail. When it swings its burning tail, it elevates the temperature to unbearably high levels. Spits fire that is hot enough to melt boulders. Known to cause forest fires unintentionally. After birth, its back swells and hardens into a shell. Powerfully sprays foam from its mouth. Often hides in water to stalk unwary prey. For swimming fast, it moves its ears to maintain balance. A brutal Pokemon with pressurized water jets on its shell. They are used for high-speed tackles. Its short feet are tipped with suction pads that enables it to tirelessly climb slopes and walls. This Pokemon is vulnerable to attack while its shell is soft, exposing its weak and tender body. In battle, it flaps its wings at high speed to release highly toxic dust into the air. Often found in forests eating leaves. It has a sharp venomous steamer on its head. Almost incapable of moving, this Pokemon can only harden its shell to protect itself from predators. Flies at high speed and attacks using its large venomous stingers on its forelegs and tail. A common sight in forests and woods, it flaps its wings at ground level to kick up blinding sand. Very protective of its sprawling territorial area, this Pokemon will fiercely peck at any intruder. When hunting, it skims the surface of water at high speed to pick off unwary prey such as Magikarp. Bites anything when it attacks. Small and very quick, it is a common sight in many places. It uses its whiskers to maintain its balance. It apparently slows down if they are cut off. Eats bugs in grassy areas. It has to flap its short wings at high speed to stay airborne. With its huge and magnificent wings, it can keep aloft without ever having to land for rest. Moves silently and stealthily. Eats the eggs of birds such as Pidgey and Spearow whole. It is rumored that the ferocious warning markings on its belly differ from area to area. When several of these Pokemon gather, their electricity could build and cause lightning storms. Its long tail serves as a ground to protect itself from its own high voltage power. Burrows deep underground in arid locations, far from water. It only emerges to hunt for food. Curls up into a spiny ball when threatened. It can roll while curled up to attack or escape. Although small, its venomous barbs render this Pokemon dangerous. The female has smaller horns. The female's horns develop slowly, prefers physical attacks such as clawing and biting. Its hard scales provide strong protection. It uses its hefty bulk to execute powerful moves. Stiffens its ears to sense danger. The larger its horns, the more powerful its secreted venom. An aggressive Pokemon that is quick to attack. The horn on its head secrets a powerful venom. It uses its powerful tail in battle to smash, constrict, and break the prey's bones. Its magical and cute appeal has many admirers. It is rare and found only in certain areas. A timid fairy Pokemon that is rarely seen. It will run and hide the moment it senses people. At the time of birth, it has just one tail. The tail splits from its tip as it grows older. Very smart and very vengeful. Grabbing one of its many tails could result in a 1,000-year curse. When its huge eyes light up, it sings a mysteriously soothing melody that lulls its enemies to sleep. The body is soft and rubbery. When angered, it will suck in air and inflate itself to an enormous size. Forms colonies in perpetually dark places. Uses ultrasonic waves to identify and approach targets. Once it strikes, it will not stop draining energy from the victim, even if it gets too heavy to fly. During the day, it keeps its face buried in the ground. At night, it wanders around sowing its seeds. The fluid that oozes from its mouth isn't drool. It is a nectar that is used to attract prey. The larger its petals, the more toxic pollen it contains. Its big head is heavy and hard to hold up. Burrows to suck tree roots. The mushrooms on its back grow by drawing nutrients from the bug host. A host-parasite pair in which the parasite mushroom has taken over the host bug. Prefers damp places. Lives in the shadows of tall trees where it eats insects. It is attracted by light at night. The dust-like scales covering its wings are color-coded to indicate the kinds of poison it has. Lives about 1 yard underground where it feeds on plant roots. It sometimes appears above ground. A team of Diglett triplets. It triggers huge earthquakes by burrowing 60 miles underground. Adores circular objects. Wanders the streets on a nightly basis to look for dropped loose change. Although its fur has many admirers, it is tough to raise as a pet because of its fickle meanness. While lulling its enemies with its vacant look, this wily Pokemon will use psychokinetic powers. Often seen swimming elegantly by lake shores, it is often mistaken for the Japanese monster Kappa. Extremely quick to anger. It could be docile one moment, then thrash it away the next instant. Always furious and tenacious to boot. It will not abandon chasing its quarry until it is caught. Very protective of its territory. It will bark and bite to repel intruders from its space. Pokemon that has been admired since the past for its beauty. It runs agilely as if on wings. Agilely. Its newly grown legs prevent it from running. It appears to prefer swimming than trying to stand. Capable of living in or out of water. When out of water, it sweats to keep its body slimy. An adept swimmer at both the front crawl and breaststroke, easily overtakes the best human swimmers. Using its ability to read minds, it will identify impending danger and teleport to safety. It emits special alpha waves from its body that induces headaches just by being close by. Its brain can outperform a supercomputer. Its intelligence quotient is said to be 5,000. Loves to build its muscles. It trains in all styles of martial arts to become even stronger. Its muscular body is so powerful it must wear a power save belt to be able to regulate its motions. Using its heavy muscles, it throws powerful punches that can send the victim clear over the horizon. a carnivorous Pokemon that traps and eats bugs. It uses its root feet to soak up needed moisture. It spits out poison powder to immobilize the enemy and then finishes it with a spray of acid. Said to live in huge colonies deep in jungles, although no one has ever returned from there. Drifts in shallow seas. Anglers who hook them by accident are often punished by its stinging acid. The tentacles are normally kept short. On hunts, they are extended to ensnare and immobilize prey. Found in fields and mountains. Mistaking them for boulders, people often step or trip on them. Rolls down slopes to move. It rolls over any obstacle without slowing or changing its direction. Its boulder-like bite is extremely hard. It can easily withstand dynamite blasts without damage. Its hooves are 10 times harder than diamonds. It can trample anything completely flat in little time. Very competitive, this Pokemon will chase anything that moves fast in the hopes of racing it. Incredibly slow and dopey, it takes 5 seconds for it to feel pain when under attack. The shoulder that is latched onto Slowpoke's tail is said to feed on the host's leftover scraps. Uses anti-gravity to stay suspended. Appears without warning and uses Thunder Wave and similar moves. Formed by several Magnemites linked together. They frequently appear when sunspots flare up. The sprig of green onions it holds is its weapon. It is used much like a metal sword. A bird that makes up for its poor flying with its fast foot speed, leaves giant footprints. Uses its 3 brains to execute complex plans. While 2 heads sleep, 1 head stays awake. The protruding horn on its head is very hard. It is used for bashing through thick ice. Stores thermal energy in its body. Swims at a steady 8 knots, even in intensely cold waters. Appears in filthy areas. Thrives by sucking up polluted sludge that is pumped out of factories. Thickly covered with a filthy, vile sludge, it is so toxic even its footprints contain poison. Its hard shell repels any kind of attack. It is vulnerable only when its shell is open. Ugh, man, my throat's hurt. When attacked, it launches its horns in quick volleys. Its innards have never been seen. Almost invisible, this gaseous Pokemon cloaks the target and puts it to sleep without notice. Because of its ability to slip through block walls, it is said to be from another dimension. Under a full moon, this Pokemon likes to mimic the shadows of people and laugh at their fright. Omanyte can. As it grows, the stone portions of its body harden to become similar to a diamond, but colored black. Puts enemies to sleep, then eats their dreams. Occasionally gets sick from eating bad dreams. When it locks eyes with an enemy, it will use a mix of Psy moves such as Hypnosis and Confusion. Its pincers are not only powerful weapons, they are used for balance when walking sideways. Man. The large pincer has 10,000 HP of crushing power. However, its huge size makes it unwieldy to use. Usually found in power plants, easily mistaken for a Pokeball, they have zapped many people. It stores electric energy under very high pressure. It often explodes with little or no provocation. Often mistaken for eggs, when disturbed, they quickly gather and attack in swarms. Legend has it that on rare occasions, one of its heads will drop off and continue on as an execute. Because it never removes its skull helmet, no one has ever seen this Pokemon's real face. The bone it holds is its key weapon. It throws the bone skillfully like a boomerang to KO targets. When in a hurry, its legs lengthen progressively. It runs smoothly with extra long loping strides. While apparently doing nothing, it fires punches in lightning fast volleys that are impossible to see. Its tongue can be extended like a chameleon's. It leaves a tingling sensation when it licks enemies, though it can't learn lick until Gen 2. Because it stores several kinds of toxic gases in its bite, it is prone to exploding without warning. Where two kinds of poison gases meet, two coughings can fuse into a wheezing over many years. Its massive bones are 1,000 times harder than human bones. It can easily knock a trailer flying. Protected by an armor-like hide, it is capable of living in a molten lava of 3,600 degrees. A rare and elusive Pokemon that is said to bring happiness to those who manage to get it. The whole body is swathed with wide vines that are similar to seaweed. Its vines shake as it walks. The infant rarely ventures out of its mother's protective pouch until it is 3 years old. Known to shoot down flying bugs with precision, blasts of ink from the surface of the water. Capable of swimming backwards by rapidly flapping its wing-like pectoral fins and stout tail. Its tail fin billows like an elegant ballroom dress, giving it the nickname of the Water Queen. Man. In the autumn spawning season, they can be seen swimming powerfully up rivers and creeks. An enigmatic Pokemon that can effortlessly regenerate any appendage it loses in battle. Enigmatic. Its central core glows with the 7 colors of the rainbow. Some people value the core as a gem. If interrupted while it is miming, it will slap around the offender with its broad hands. With ninja-like agility and speed, it can create the illusion that there is more than one. It seductively wiggles its hips as it walks. It can cause people to dance in unison with it. Normally found near power plants, they can wander away and cause major blackouts in cities. Its body always burns with an orange glow that enables it to hide perfectly among flames. If it fails to crush the victim in its pincers, it will swing it around and toss it hard. Man, my throat's sore. When it targets an enemy, it charges furiously while whipping its body with its long tails. Oh man, almost done. In the distant past, it was somewhat stronger than the horribly weak descendants that exist today. Come on, you can do this. Rarely seen in the wild, huge and vicious, it is capable of destroying entire cities in a rage. A Pokemon has been overhunted almost to extinction. It can ferry people across the water. Capable of copying an enemy's genetic code to instantly transform itself into a duplicate of the enemy. Its genetic code is irregular. It may mutate if it is exposed to radiation from elemental stones or evolution stones. Lives close to water. Its long tail is rigid with a fin which is often mistaken for a mermaid's. Oh man. It accumulates negative ions in the atmosphere to blast out 10,000 volt lightning bolts. When storing thermal energy in its body, its temperature could soar to over 1600 degrees. A Pokemon that consists entirely of programming code, capable of moving freely in cyberspace. Although long extinct, in rare cases it can be genetically resurrected from fossils. A prehistoric Pokemon that died out when its heavy shell made it impossible to catch prey. A Pokemon that was resurrected from a fossil found in what was once the ocean floor eons ago. Its sleek shape is perfect for swimming. It slashes prey with its claws and drains the body fluids. Oh come on, there's only 10 more to go. Come on, you can do this. A ferocious prehistoric Pokemon that goes for the enemy's throat with its serrated saw-like fangs. 9 more. Very lazy, just eats and sleeps. As its rotund bulk builds, it becomes steadily more slothful. Come on. A legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear to doom people who are lost in icy mountains. A legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear from clouds while dropping enormous lightning bolts. Known as a legendary bird of fire, every flap of its wings creates a dazzling flash of flames. Long considered a mythical Pokemon until recently, when a small colony was found living underwater. Come on. A mystical Pokemon that exudes a gentle aura has the ability to change climate conditions. An extremely rarely seen marine Pokemon. Its intelligence is said to match that of humans. Just 2 more! It was created by a scientist after years of horrific gene splicing and DNA engineering experiments. Last one. So rare that it is still said to be a mirage by many experts. only a few people have seen it worldwide. That is all 151 Pokemon at long last. Man, how do politicians like Donald Trump do this? Now, this is literally the last episode of Red and Blue. There is literally nothing else to do outside of maybe trading certain held items over to Gen 2. But I will be able to take care of it with Crystal version, so don't worry. Wow, excellent! You completed your Pokedex. Congratulations! And with that, it is the final episode of Red and Blue. So, I will never again return to these games here on Perfect Playthroughs. From now on, every time I do a game, I intend on completing it. Next time, I begin the end of Yellow version. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gorin, sign out.